Good day, everyone. Today we're going to discuss the risky behaviors of adolescents. Teenage brain that handle planning and impulse control don't completely mature until about age 25. This means teenagers are sometimes more likely than adults to make quick decisions without always thinking of the consequences. And since some teenagers are very influenced by their peers, they make decisions about potentially risky things to fit in with the group. So, let's discuss different risky behaviors of adolescents. First is the unprotected or unsafe sexual activity. This category includes having some sexual intercourse before the age of 13, not using protection during intercourse, not being tested for HIV or other sexually transmitted diseases, and it also includes drinking alcohol or using drugs during or before the intercourse.
So let's move on to sexting and other risky uses of social media. So, adolescent sexting has been linked with risk-taking behaviors such as problematic alcohol use and unprotected sex and psychological distress. Most of them report social interaction through social media rather than in person.
So, what do we mean by sexting? Sexting is about sending sexually explicit messages, photos, or videos via or through cell phone, computers, or any digital device. And when we talk about sexting, it includes photos and videos containing nudity or showing simulated sex acts. It is also includes text messages that discuss or propose sex acts.
So the teens and children use gadgets like, for example, use smartphone and use tablets, social media, apps, and messages.
So good day everyone. So one of the risky behavior of adolescent is tobacco smoking. So we'll now find out what is the reason behind of those smoking teenagers or the adolescent. So the first one is peer pressure. Peer pressure because of the groups that they are included or part of having a biases. So the tendency, because you don't want to be quit in that group or to be forced out in a group, you will do the things that they do. Then the next one is their parents smoke. So some saying that mana-mana lang yan, it's heredity. Because what are the children see their parents, they try to copy it because they think that it is right for them.
And the other reasons why the teens smokes are they think it's cool because they find it relaxing, passions, and rebellion. So what are the reasons why teens drinking alcohol? Here are the reasons: relieve stress, feel good, cope with loss, overcome anxiety, lack of connections, and the last one is shame and trauma.
Illegal substance use. Substance use and sexual risk behavior share some common underlying factors that may predispose teens to these behaviors. Because substance use cluster with other risk behavior, it is important to learn whether precursors can be determined early to help identify youth who are most at risk. Primary prevention approaches that are most effective are those that address common risk factors. Prevention program from substance use and sexual risk behaviors should include focus on individuals, peers, families, schools, and communities.
Inadequate physical activity has clearly been shown to be a risk factor for cardiovascular disease and other conditions. Less active and less fit people have a great risk of developing high blood pressure. Physical activity can reduce your risk for type 2 diabetes. Studies show that physically active people are less likely to develop coronary heart disease than those who are inactive. This is even after researchers accounted for smoking, alcohol use, and diet. Lack of physical activity can add to feelings of anxiety and depression. Physical inactivity may increase the risk of certain cancers. And lastly, physically active overweight or obese people significantly reduce their risk for disease with regular physical activity.
Let's move on to injuries and the violence of adolescents. According to American Psychological Association or APA, defines youth violence as an extreme form of aggression with the goal of physical harm, injury, or death. Examples of youth violence also include date rape, homicides, and gang violence. So the causes of the youth violence are: first one is the media influence. Studies have shown that playing violence video game increase aggressive thoughts and behaviors. Second one is communities and neighborhoods. Teens live in a socio-economically challenged neighborhoods. They may feel like their only option for survival is to join a gang, or to engage in violence. They are also likely to act aggressively and participate in a violent behavior. So the third one is domestic violence and child abuse. This situation can lead to youth violence later in life because of the lack of stability and structure in the home. Being violent gives teens a feeling of power and control of something they lack at home. And the last one is drug and alcohol use. Teens usually engage in the drug and alcohol use to feel good, often brings about feelings of depressions, anger, and frustrations. These feelings can lead a teen to exhibit behaviors of aggressions.
Truancy is any intentional, unjustified, unauthorized, or illegal absence from compulsory education. It is a deliberate absence by students' own free will and usually does not refer to legitimate excused absences, such as ones related to medical conditions. The consequences of too many absences are serious not only for students but also for parents. Schools handle minor truancy with warning letters, parent-teacher conferences, and by other means.
However, in some states, parents can be fined when their kids miss too much school. And that's for today. I hope you enjoyed and learned from our video. Bye-bye. Thank you.